Go!
So Leander, on home water, ready to teach this French crew a lesson, or are they going to have to fight all the way to preserve home honour? It's a good start by both crews. French crew making a distinct move away from the bank into more open water. So many crews you talk to are worried by the overhanging trees, the slight darkness as well. It seems as if you're just being drawn, however much you try, into the side of the island. As it is, they've emerged, and it's level, pretty much bow ball to bow ball. What's Debbie Flood and the rest of her Leander crew got to produce then? Or are we going to see this French crew rating pretty much level at the moment? Who's going to make the first move then? Who's going to make a decisive move in this first few minutes of this women's quad sculls in the Princess Grace Challenge?
Yeah, at the moment you can see the French here in a boat with CHI, and it looks like a Chinese boat that they're borrowing, are actually just making a little bit of better grip on the water. And Leander, they're pushing through by doing more strokes and moving as fast as they can to keep the rate up. It'll be interesting which of these two styles wins through, but this Leander boat, it is full of experience. We've mentioned Debbie Flood already, but Francesca Rawlings in the bow seat on the risers we're watching. She's an excellent lightweight athlete. Lucinda Gooderman, she's a world silver medalist in the 4 last year. And Emily Carmichael, she's in there at the stroke seat in front of Debbie, been rowing for 3 years and has been brought to this system and learning from this experienced crew. And we've talked earlier on about learning from the best and being inspired, and I think Leander Club, what they've done here really nicely is put together 4 women, some more experienced than others, to really move them on. And the French, they're running against them, holding the water well, but they've got some power in that boat to contend with.
And that power is telling, because even again while you were talking, we saw the move. Debbie Flood and her crew just starting to get to grips, as you say, using the power and driving on. The efficiency of the French countered then by the power of Leander, who had to make a move away from the booms on the right-hand side of the course there, and now coming, veering just a little bit into the middle stream, although we've heard nothing so far from Matthew Pinsent. The umpires launch, and Leander have straightened, and they continue, still in the lead by but not by much. And conditions have certainly eased, I think, surely, haven't they? The water seems a lot more flat and kind, although the flag just outside our commentary position at the finish is still blowing vigorously.
There's certainly still a headwind. That's not something that's going to go away today completely, Jonathan, but it is, as blue skies here, the day has lifted, and the rowing is what we want to be talking about now, because this is going to be a great race. Leander have pushed out, they've pushed out to just about 3/4 of a length lead, but the French, they're in a good rhythm. They're holding on to the water well, as we talked about earlier. They're staying in contention. This Quran could go all the way.
We've said that in the past in this afternoon session, and then one crew, just almost to spite us or the commentator's curse, decides to kick on. But that's what racing's about, because you may have had your game plan that you would do A, but if that's not working, then you've got to go to B and then the C, and there's flexibility, the ability to counter what your opposition has suddenly produced, which may have been completely what you were not expecting, which can be hugely disconcerting, but that's when you find out how good you are.
Yeah, and in the side-by-side racing, it really is about holding your hand in the fire. You cannot let one crew go. You cannot let them disappear, because they get such a psychological advantage, and then suddenly you see them relax, and certainly the French have not let them go. They're holding on, and we can see on the 1/4 mile, the one's gone up, Leander are ahead, but we'll see the 2 go up any minute now, and I think it'll only be 3/4 of the length that they are ahead.
They are still very much in touch. At one stage I thought it was maybe it had shortened to half a length. So the Leander crew on home water with vocal home support as well will need it, because they are coming back. That is now most definitely half a length. In fact, it could be down to 1/3 of the length. The French crew have really found some extra momentum and are carrying some real strength now. They're really cutting through the water, or if you like, even just easing on top of the water now. And what was seemingly turning into not quite a stroll, but certainly a comfortable row for Leander has changed, because the French crew on the right of your picture, on the Buckinghamshire station, are really challenging Debbie Flood and her Leander crew. They are now having to dig deep and work hard. This race is far from won.
And this is interesting. Leander, we saw them race yesterday. The French, this is their first outing, so they won't know yet what it feels like to go down this full course, because they had a bye yesterday. But look at this, here we come. We're coming into the general enclosure. The crews are going to be very much close to being side by side. I think Leander, we're going to see a maybe quarter of a length advantage. Jonathan, the crowd are going to go mad. The home club is here. They've got a fight on their hands, and we're going to see the stewards, I think, at its best in a moment.
Yes, as we saw from that shot, there were a lot of people out on the lawn, out on the grass. They are preparing. There was one bellow I just picked up there, go on Leander. Well, they're going to need a lot of that, and this is where the adrenaline should start to kick in. If the crowd find their voice and lift this crew, carry them towards the finishing line, because this is a real race to the finish. This is no straightforward Leander procession. They have responded. They found, shall we say, 3/4 of a length. There's an anxious look there from the stroke in the French crew just to the right to see where Leander had moved to, and the answer is they are ahead.
I think that's very telling, isn't it? We saw the French, they just made that huge move, and they'll have felt the other crew coming up on the side, and they will have felt again that they have moved. And that straight girl, she is the last person to come alongside. Everyone else will know exactly where they are, and she is now having to turn her head to see the Leander crew. And look how neat that Leander quad, they're keeping their technique perfectly together. Set a really nice rhythm there by Emily Carmichael, and you know, they've held their head. And, you know, let's see what happens at last through the crowds, but I think they've got this one.
They've kept their heads, they've held their nerve, but can they hold on to this lead as the French crew try to fight back? Just about a minute or so to go, maybe just under, as Leander step it up. Debbie Flood takes a look in the 3-seat to see where the French are. Have they broken their challenge? Have they done enough? By the looks of it, they've actually taken more than a length out of them, and Leander, it seems, have the job done. They responded when they needed to, and the French crew, for all their sterling efforts, are going to come in second. It's not as close as it threatened to be about mid-race, and Leander, responding to the crowd, will hear the bell first.
And there they are, that's the length. Leander has done the job. That was beautiful sculling from both quads. Look at the pain on the face of Debbie Flood. She does not like a long race. She is an athlete who is always at her best, and 2,000 metres is just enough. Not here today, they have held on. She's done a great job.
The home crowd can relax. Not necessarily return to the bar, but there's reason to be celebratory, because that really demanded. Never think that just because the sun is out, this is an easy row. That was tough, but they toughed it out and won.